Hey friends, it's Jennifer. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back today with another daily journaling page. And today I have picked out this page right here. And I've already picked out some elements for today. I'm going to use this journaling card. I make a bunch of these. I tea dye up a bunch of things and put stuff on them. And I have tons of them and I don't use them. So today I'm going to use this one. I have some of these little squares. They kind of look like postage stamps and a used tea bag. And I've just got this piece of scrap paper on this side of the page because we've already done this side of the page, just so it won't be a distraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these little squares, or they look like postage stamps, but really they were a piece of scrapbook paper that had these, I guess they look like postage stamps, and I backed them onto some cardstock and then cut those out and inked around them. And so I've decided to use them on the edge of the page. Usually when I do this, I go ahead and sew everything um, down onto something else, like something that will fit that page, and then glue that down. But I just decided here that I was just going to glue these down. Originally, that's what I decided. So you can see me here just kind of working with them in different, placing them differently just to kind of see how I would like to get them down onto this page. When I do an edge on any page, I like for it to look good on the front and the back side. So um, I decided here that I was going to just glue them down a little at a time and use some sewing clips to try to hold them in place, because if they were just on that regular scrapbook paper that I had gotten in a pack, it would be thin paper, but I backed it onto some heavy cardstock, so it's thicker paper, so it's not as easily glued down without having something there holding it. But you can see once I got the first two kind of stuck down with that sewing clip, I'm just sort of holding them down and sliding them one underneath the other just to kind of hold them to get some of that glue on there to stay on. And so I'm just clipping that bottom one there just to make sure and pressing it down really good. And now I'm going to try to lift it up to make sure that I didn't glue anything down and it looks good on the flip side of the paper, which it did. And so I'm going to take my heat gun and just give this a little bit of a press down with the heat just to get it dried. And then now I have flipped the page, the whole book to the underside, because I'm going to take some glue and just smush it under the parts that didn't get nailed down on those edges. And I'm just taking my paintbrush. You can see I'm just squeezing a little bit of glue under there and just taking my paintbrush under there and just kind of putting it under those edges and getting those to stay down. And that's how I did it, was with a paintbrush and some glue, and just kind of held it down there just to get it to stay in place. And again, I'm taking my heat gun and I'm just giving it a dry there just to get it to stick down. So now that that's dry, I'm going to take my journaling card and try to make a pocket out of this tea bag to fit this particular journaling card. And so I've just cut the edges off of the tea bag, and now I have cut it up the middle just to open it up there. And I'm just trying to um, gauge how much of this tea bag I'm going to need. It is a tight space on this particular page. And so now I'm trying to figure out the height, and I've determined that, so I went ahead and just cut it off there. And so now I'm going to take the glue, and I'm just going to glue down one side of the tea bag. And I'm just going in here with my finger and just taking the excess glue off of there because it is a tea bag and I don't want it to smash out everywhere. It's thin. So I'm just getting it as close to the edge as I possibly can in the center of that book so that or that signature so that it will be over as far as it can go. And again, I'm just measuring my journaling card there just to make sure. And once I've figured out that that will work, I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom and the other side of the tea bag, just taking the glue, taking my finger, and just getting the excess off. And then I'm just going to lay it down there. Now, once again, just making sure that my journaling card's going to fit in there, and it does. So that turned out really good. And this tea bag with the glue on it dries pretty fast. Now I've got this napkin, and I'm going to cut out this particular edge right there that you can see. I think the colors go really well with my journaling card and with the paper. And I'm just going to lay it down here to kind of measure out how much I think I might need. And sometimes you can get the ply off of the napkin if you just kind of wrinkle it a little bit. Other times you need to use a tool. I got mine out just in case, but this one came right off, so I didn't have any problems with that. So now I'm just going to lay it down here again, and now I'm just going to put some glue down on to the piece of a napkin once I make sure that my journaling card will fit in there. I don't want to put it in there too far, that piece up too far where the journaling card won't fit in there. So I'm just going to lay some glue down with my paintbrush there, a thin coat, because again it is napkin and it will tear easy. And I'm just going to lay it down there on top of it. And I'm just going to take whatever paint's left over on my paintbrush and lay a layer of the glue down on top of the napkin. I'm just going to tear that edge off once I know how much of it I need. And that card fits in there really, really well. I'm just going to lay another layer of glue down at the bottom of the napkin just to make sure all of those edges lay down. And I'm going to dry it with my heat gun. Now, I've made my heart out of a scrap piece of paper. I think it matches the succulent color on my journaling card. For those of you who've been watching me this year, I'm adding a heart to everything I do to remind me to love myself, others, and my work better this year. And so I'm just applying some ink around this heart and some glue on the back, and I'm just going to lay it down on this tea bag and make sure that it didn't stick to my journaling card. And so now I'm going to take my oil pastel crayons that I love, and I'm just going to draw around this heart. You can draw around them and smudge them out with your finger or a sponge. I just use my fingers. I like to get in my fingers involved when I'm working. And somewhere the camera cut out here, but you can see I have taken some stamps. There's a flower stamp in here and a couple of leaf stamps, and I stamped them onto the tea bag here. You can see that. And I think that it turned out nicely. I've got my journaling card that I can write on, and it looks good from both sides. It looks good with the blue on top if I want to leave the writing out, or I can turn it in and put the writing down. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this inspires you to do some of your own journaling and use whatever supplies you have to make it look beautiful, make it yours. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.